Your life experience, good or bad, is a gift when you share it with others. At Taxi Chronicles, we allow real riders with real stories to share their gift. So hopefully this episode will intrigue, enhance or inspire you. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Morning. Yes, we're back with another episode, another rider. Today we're honoured to have Bob here with us. And he is an expert in managing the music industry. So he's going to share the gift. So hopefully we can all learn something about what it's like to manage various different artists within the music industry today. So nice to have you here today, Bob.
Cheers, man. Really appreciate it. Glad to be here.
Okay, that's good. So first of all, how did you get into the industry?
So it's always been quite a big passion of mine. My dad ran a management company, so I've always been brought up around the music industry. And then I actually used to work as a chef for 4 years.
Okay.
And that's what I did before I started getting into music. And then when I realised it wasn't what I wanted to do and I actually wanted to work in music, I moved back to my parents' house because I basically had to quit my job. And I interned at so I basically offered my work for free. It was 3 different companies, and then I went to a 4th one, and then they actually offered me a job at the end of it.
How many years did you do interning?
That was a year of interning, and during that I was also putting on my own nights up in Shoreditch. I had a monthly residency at a place called Old Blue Last, so I'd be like looking for new bands that basically we had no money, so it would be like they had to be new bands because I couldn't offer them that much to actually play there. So yeah, I was doing that at the same time, which also helped me get a bit of experience in the industry.
Just to make sure I understand that, as a managing agent, that's what you were doing, yeah, when you're looking for these new bands?
Yeah, so before, I mean, like what it was, like when I was putting on the nights, that's the promotion side of like the industry. But what I really wanted to do was management and A&R.
Okay, but what I was trying to do is understand what you were doing. You said you didn't have anything to pay them.
Yeah.
But why would you pay them if you're trying to get them a gig?
Because it costs bands and artists money to actually take all their equipment and also everyone. There's a lot of artists they'll have a band with them. They'll be their own artist, but then their band will be like a separate thing. But they'll have to pay their band to actually play with them on that night. So it costs them money to do it, so you kind of need to cover those fees essentially. And because essentially they're also working for you. Like they're actually they're providing their services in playing music.
And so you would have lined up a venue or a bar or someone that said, listen, I'm going to bring people every night. And that person said, okay, I'm going to pay you a certain amount.
Yeah. So the venue would give us a budget, and through that we would divvy it up between whatever artist that we were working with on those nights, and pay them. And it would usually be the headliner. We could get a couple of the smaller artists to pay for free basically, and then we'd pay the headliner or whatever to
Get some up and coming artists are the opportunity to publicise themselves.
Yeah.
And then the main one, you say, right, here's your cut.
Yeah.
I'm with you. So, what would you say you've learned about this industry that you wish you knew when you started?
I guess one of the main things, so I never went to university or anything. I just kind of started working as soon as I was outside of school. And one of the things that I wish I knew when I was younger is that you can actually get into this without having a degree or anything, and you learn a lot more on the job than you would actually doing a music business course. And in my opinion, that's the best way to learn about the industry, actually working in it rather than because I mean they can teach you whatever in uni, and I'm sure you learn a lot of the nuts and bolts of stuff and the boring stuff, but you don't really understand how the actual industry works until you're actually doing it.
And also, uni is seen as yesterday's information.
Yeah.
Or last year's information. So if things change, you're never up and current.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, and the industry is just consistently changing. it's crazy nowadays. Like, people don't make money off selling records anymore. Like, 'cause no one actually buys music. Everyone uses streaming platforms like Spotify or Apple or anything like that.
So those streaming platforms would have an agreement with the artists then?
Yeah, so basically you
Good question, actually. Let's say Beyonce.
Mhm.
Does she? I suppose she would, innit? Because if she gets her album, drops her album on YouTube,
Yeah.
then people, every time they view it, she gets a check.
Yeah.
So that's why managing agents, they sign into the contract that I will manage your social media.
Yeah. And
Sorry, don't dig
no,
it,
it's all good, man. All good.
That's terrible, man. That's like, listen, man, we gotta talk.
Yeah. So basically, what it is streaming platforms averagely pay you about 0.003p per stream on your song. So that's like the average, like across like all platforms like YouTube, Spotify, like whatever. So they'll pay you that much, and then artists like Beyonce, blah blah blah, like they obviously get like an insane amount of streams. It'll be like 1 billion streams on like one of their tracks. So that ends up being a lot of money. And then as a manager, basically what you do is you work on commission.
20%.
Yeah, 20%. Yeah, exactly. So you take 20%. So you'll take that out of, basically you sign up, when you're an artist, you sign up to a thing called PRS.
Is that the
and that's what
perpetuity as well?
Yeah.
I've been warned about that on some interviews. You never have perpetuity in your interview. In your contract. For life, for eternity and beyond. Get that, man. But go on anyway. You finish explaining this stuff.
Where was I? So yeah, you'll take 20%. PRS is like as an artist, you'll sign up to PRS, and that basically logs every time your track has been streamed and stuff. So that every time it's played on the radio, every time it's played on like Spotify or anything like that. So then they'll send you payments basically every 3 months. You get a payment.
Like a dividend.
Yeah. And then so the manager will take 20% commission on that payment, and they'll take 20% commission on payment when you get a gig that actually makes you profit. And when you sign a record deal as well, because you'll get an advance, and the advance, like depending on who the artist is, it can differ in like what the money is. But the managers will take 20% on that as well. But sorry, go on.
No,
it's all good. You go.
So you deal with rappers and dance music.
Yeah. I mean, like, literally, my music taste varies so much, and the company that I was working for quite reflected that as well. So we did like a lot of like indie stuff as well. But one of the most ridiculous things that I've done in the past year was this group called Bad Boy Chiller Crew. And they were a bassline rap crew from Bradford, and we'd kind of see. No, they weren't actually. They were
black guys.
No, they were all white. They came from traveller backgrounds, basically.
I was gonna say that's a real corny name.
Yeah. So it kind of like, it started as like a bit of a joke, is from what I've heard from them. Like, it was like they were making like kind of like comedy sketches on like their social media and stuff, and it'd be like almost like Jackass style, like stunts sort of stuff like that. And then they started rapping as well, started making music videos, and
were people viewing them?
Yeah, like their YouTube views were just consistently going up, and like we kind of started paying like a bit of attention to it. And then and then we one of my mates works for that magazine called Vice. And we spoke to them, and we were like, have you heard of these guys, basically? And they were like, we're in the middle of shooting a documentary on them. So we were like, okay, this could actually time really well if this documentary comes out while we're releasing like their mixtape or whatever. It's going to be like a big like kind of viral moment, and it was. And the head of Vice contacted us after it went out and was like, you must be making a decent penny off this, because it hit the most views any Vice video has ever had in the space of a week. So it did 13 million views in the space of a week on this video, on this documentary of them. And yeah, so we released their mixtape, and yeah, it was kicking off, and I was working for an independent label, which means we're not funded by one of the major labels, and all the major labels were getting in touch and wanted to sign it off us because they saw it like doing quite well.
Independents like, don't you leave.
Yeah, but we actually ended up doing it, like, so we did a thing called licensing, so we still maintain like accountability on like all the music that's released, and we're still credited as like one of the labels. But they were just offering us stupid money there. It's like we couldn't not turn it down.
The independent label, were they happy?
Yeah, and also the novelty of it being funny wore off. They just ended up being nightmares, like
Gandam style.
Yeah. And they were just impossible to control, basically, like. And as soon as like they got like a sniff of money, that's all they cared about, and it wasn't. Yeah. And it's
like a
weird.
lock stock situation.
Literally, man, yeah. And it was really weird because like in Bradford and like in the north of England, it's like London is its own country essentially in England, like because here like people kind of notice them a bit, but they weren't like obviously like a massive deal or anything. Go to Bradford, they are A-list celebrities there. Like literally, they can't walk down the road without them being like harassed and people like chatting to them. But they come here. We did a shoot with them once, and it was in Peckham, and we went for a drink afterwards, and like one of the waiters like came over and was like, "Oh, you lot are Bad Boy Chinical, aren't you?" Like blah blah blah. And it was like, yeah. So like a couple of those things would happen, but literally in Bradford, swarms of people following down the road where we're trying to shoot like a music video as well. Like yeah, it was ridiculous, man.
Yeah, so you just had to add those people in then.
Yeah.
That's good, eh? Okay. Well, you've been a great guest. Last question is, what's the impact you want to have in the world?
So music really helps me. Like, I really enjoy listening to music when I'm feeling in a bad mood or anything like that. And I guess what I really want to do is just kind of be able to help artists grow to a point where their music is being heard and it can help people in that way as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so the spiritual, mental side of it.
Yeah. And obviously I want to make a shitload of money while I'm doing it, but...
It sounds like you're on the right route, mate, and stuff. We wish you well.
Yes, mate, it was lovely to meet you, man.
And thanks a lot.
I'm so sorry.
We hope you liked that Taxi Chronicles interview. Don't forget to share and subscribe to get the latest episode. Ever considered investing in the continent with the fastest growing economies and population on Earth? The same continent that holds 30% of the world's known natural resources. Listen to our sister podcast, Africa Investor Stories, where you hear real investors with real stories from around the world share their experience of investing in Africa. We post Monday and Thursday at 10 a.m. British Standard Time.